This YouTube video today is dedicated to Dane Brownlow and Josie Strom. The first one to come back to me and say that the Iowa Hawkeyes are disgusting will be given a prize. Carissa, do you have anything to say about that? Okay, Chris has nothing to say. She's gloating right now because she knows that the Hawkeyes took it to the Gophers this past weekend, and she's feeling good about it. She doesn't trash talk too much to me, but she does laugh. She points and laughs, so it's kind of her trash talking way. So, all right, this is what you have to memorize for the test: a relation in which every element in the domain corresponds to exactly one element of the range. Exactly, it needs to be perfect. Okay, and you'll be able to do it, and we'll practice it. Now, that's the definition of a function. When you think of a function, you think of these things. You think of f of x. You don't have to write all these down. I just want to get your mind flowing. You think of maybe a function machine. People talked about, like grade school, you guys talked about function machines. Okay. VL test, what does that mean? Vertical line test. If a graph passes the vertical line test, then it's a function. We'll talk about that later on. You think of inputs and outputs. People think of making the XY tables, so on and so forth. These are all things that have to do with functions. Functions are at the heart of how we operate in society. They're very useful, and they're the basis really for the study of calculus. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to start by evaluating functions. Now we know what they are. Okay, so the first function is f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. Historically, it's not as though functions have been around since the year 500 BC. The fact is that we started to formalize this definition of functions more around the 16, 17, 1800s. And so this is the notation that has been chosen to use. If we say f of negative 3, the f tells us the name of the function. Which function is this? This is function f. What should we do with the function? Let's evaluate it at negative 3, meaning we replace the x with negative 3. And we get, in this case, whoop, gotta do a subtraction sign there, don't I? 3 times negative 3 minus 5, I get negative 9 minus 5, which is negative 14. You've been evaluating functions for a while, but sometimes you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So, and because it's a function, we can be confident in this. We plug in negative 3, we get out one value, not more than one. F of 0, plug in 0. What do we get? Negative 5. Plug in 2. 1. This is f of a. What do you think I do for f of a? I replace x with a. And so I write 3a minus 5. You're wondering, why would I ever want to do that? You're going to do it on the back side. It's going to become very helpful. Definitely something we want to learn how to do. Put variables in as well. F of a minus b, 3 times the quantity a minus b minus 5. Or 3a minus 3b minus 5. Done and done. Any questions? You try letter B on your own. Go. Okay, you can see that f of negative 3 should have 15. F of 0 is 0, and f of 2 is 2. What does that mean? It means player 0 and player 2 both scored 0 points in the game. And that's totally legal. You can have the same output. You just can't have the same input go to 2 different outputs. F of a is a squared minus 2a. F of a minus b. Expanded a squared minus 2ab plus b squared minus the 2a plus the 2b because you distribute the subtraction sign. Any questions or concerns there? Questions going once, twice, thrice. So how about these two? We're not going to do f of a or f of b, but we are going to do f of negative 3, do f of 0, and f of 2. I have a function rule here, and you see all this stuff over on the side. I want you to have a 30-second conversation with those around you and discuss how you would propose we would try to evaluate f of negative 3. Talk to those around you. Go. Problems. As you notice, the semicolon splits it up. This is what we call our domain, and this is the function rule. So what this is communicating to us is as follows. If the x value is less than 0, then your function rule is 2x minus 1. If the x value is greater than or equal to 0, then the function rule is this. So is the x value greater than 0, or is it less than 0? It's less than 0, so which one do you think it goes into? Goes into the top one. If this guy satisfies this one, then we plug it into this. If this guy satisfies this one, then we plug it in the bottom one. Because it's less than 0, we take 2 times negative 3, and we subtract 1 from it. And we get negative 7. Now let's look at f of 0. Does it satisfy the top one or the bottom one? Which one? Why the bottom? Because it's equal to. We plug in 0 at the bottom, and you can see you're just going to get 0. Does 2 satisfy the top or bottom? The bottom. So we have negative 1/2 times 2 squared minus 3 over 2 times 2. 2 squared is 4 times 1/2 is 2 times negative 1/2. So I've got a negative 2 there. Minus 2's cancel. I've got 3, so I get negative 5 out of that. Those are what we call piecewise functions. They're broken up into pieces, and the domain sits on the left-hand side. Domain sits on the right-hand side. The function rule sits on the left-hand side. So you can do D on your own. Do f of negative 3, f of 0, and f of 2. Try to evaluate those. Go. Any questions there? All good? Okay. Flip it over. We're going to do 2 more problems. And then you're going to have your assignment. Today we need to be able to find f of a plus h minus f of a all over h. This is brand new to you. You're going to have to lean in. You're going to have to clarify questions if you have them. You have to be able to do this in order to do calculus. If you can't do this, you can't do calculus. Simple as that. Okay? We're going to be able to get you to do it. Okay? I'm going to lay it out here. I'm going to break it into pieces. First, I'm just going to look at f of a plus h, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. And I just want to look at f of a plus h. So f of a plus h, what do I plug in for x? A plus h. So I have a plus h quantity squared. Any concerns with how I came up with that? All right, I did the f of a plus h. Now I'm going to do f of a. So f of a. What do I plug in for x? Just a, and I get a squared. Everybody okay with that? So now I'm going to write the whole thing, okay? I'm going to write f of a plus h, which is a plus h quantity squared, minus a squared all over h. And I'm going to simplify that expression. And the way that that expression becomes simplified is this. I'm going to expand the a plus h, and you're going to see something nice happen. If I expand that a plus h squared, what do I get? Plus 2ah plus when you expand it, if you did it correctly, everything that does not have an h should cancel. Everything that does not have an h should cancel. What cancels? Gone, gone. That would mean that everything that remains has an h involved in it. And you can see that we have 2ah plus h squared all over h. Well, if everything in the numerator has an h, what can I do? I can factor out the h, and I get h times 2a plus h all over h. Those cancel, and I'm left with 2a plus h. What does that mean? That means that when you take the function x squared and you perform this function operation on it, f of a plus h minus f of a all over h, you come out with 2a plus h. This becomes extremely useful as we move forward in mathematics, okay? Right now we have no understanding of why that's important, but it is super important, super awesome, okay? We'll try one more together, and then you guys can try some on your own. We have g of x is 2x minus 3. So I'm going to start out with g of a plus h. And I get 2 times a plus h, but I can't forget about that minus 3. A lot of times people forget about the minus 3 on the end. It's the function with a plus h plugged in. I have a next piece. G of a. I plug in a and I get 2a minus 3. Good. Now I'll write it all out. 2 times the quantity, a plus h, minus 3, minus the quantity, 2a minus 3, all over h. We are going to distribute to get rid of the parentheses, and as we get rid of the parentheses, that's going to hopefully allow things to cancel. I get 2a plus 2h minus 3 minus 2a plus 3 all over h. What cancels? 2a's, the 3's, leaving me with 2h over h. And what do we get? Dos, which is Spanish for 2. Okay, so good for you. So here's your assignment. Right there, assignment 2.1, page 152, 11 through 16, 21 through 24, 29, 30, and 33. And you're going to be awesome at it. And you've got 10 minutes, 12 minutes. You could probably get half the assignment done because you're super fast and super smart. Dane, Josie, we miss you guys. Well, kind of. Actually, Ashley says she enjoys the extra room. And Willie says he never really missed you guys in the first place. So, yeah. Later.